If you're considering relocating to the Center City Philly area and Rittenhouse Square in particular, then this video is for you. Today we're taking you on a journey through one of Philadelphia's most charming and sought after neighborhoods, and therefore one of the most expensive neighborhoods in all of the city, Rittenhouse Square. If you're curious about upscale living, extreme convenience, cultural richness, and historical significance, this is the place to be. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the special world of Rittenhouse Square. Hey everyone, this is Chris Fuhrman and this is my channel, Living in Center City, Philly. Welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Now, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to learn more about what it's like to live and enjoy Center City, Philly, make sure to tap that subscribe button below and click the notification bell right next to it so you're notified each and every time we put out a brand new video. And we actually get a lot of folks that are reaching out to us looking to relocate to the Center City, Philly area, and we love helping them out on their journey. So if you're thinking about making a move and you have no idea what's going on in Philly, reach out. A lot of people are asking about particular neighborhoods, particular streets, condo buildings, what have you. What's going on in Center City? We'd love to answer any questions that you have. All of our contact info is below in the description. Just send us an email or text or whatever is most convenient for you. We really do live and breathe Center City, Philly. All right, let's dive into the Rittenhouse Square neighborhood tour. So what the heck is Rittenhouse Square? Well, the Rittenhouse Square neighborhood is named after the actual open and green space called Rittenhouse Square, which is one of the original 5 squares or parks or public squares that William Penn designed into the city development centuries ago. The square is literally a square park that is located between Walnut Street and Rittenhouse Square and approximately 18th and essentially 19th Street. It's a large open green space, approximately 7 acres in size, and in my opinion, this is the nicest of the public squares in the city and certainly the most popular. So the term Rittenhouse Square is used to describe the upscale residential neighborhood that surrounds the park, and many just call this area Rittenhouse. The neighborhood is known for its historic brownstone buildings, luxury condos, high-end shopping, fine dining, cultural attractions, and a vibrant art scene. And I'll go into much more detail about that in this video. But first, let's talk about Rittenhouse Square and where it's located. Well, loosely defined, the northern border of Rittenhouse is Market Street, and the southern border is South Street, though you could argue it's closer to maybe Pine Street, and between Broad Street and the Schuylkill River. Now, in this area, you technically have a micro neighborhood called Fiddler Square, which, by the way, is one of the most desirable neighborhoods in all of the city. And I talk about that in another video, and I'll link that in the description below if you want to check it out. And although the lines of Rittenhouse and Fiddler Square blur somewhat, I would define Fiddler Square to be between 21st Street and the Schuylkill River and between Walnut Street and South Street. So the map that you see on screen shows the delineation here between the two neighborhoods, but you may see some homes in Fiddler Square that have the neighborhood listed as Rittenhouse Square when you're looking at homes online, just so you know. Now that you know where the neighborhood is located, let's take a look at what the neighborhood is like. Why do people love Rittenhouse Square and why is it so popular? Well, for one, it's got a great upscale restaurant and shopping scene. In the Rittenhouse neighborhood, you have a plethora of restaurants that you can walk to. Rittenhouse really has an incredible dining scene here. It's a food lover's paradise with an array of top-notch restaurants, bars, cafes, coffee shops, eateries. Everything from cozy brunch spots to upscale dining experiences. This neighborhood really does cater to every palate. One of my favorite restaurants is actually located right here in the heart of Rittenhouse, called the Dandelion. Check it out. And if shopping is your passion, you're in for a treat. Right here in Rittenhouse, it's gonna be lined with charming boutiques, lots of high-end shops, and Walnut Street in particular offers a mix of designer stores and local gems. Really, it's the perfect place to indulge in some of that retail therapy if that's your thing. We've got a lot of familiar favorites here like Apple, Warby Parker, Lululemon, and lots of local boutiques that are only found here in Philadelphia. You can walk right through the park and continue along Walnut Street to explore all the shopping that this area has to offer. Rittenhouse Square is also a hub of artistic expression and culture here. The neighborhood is home to a diverse range of art galleries, theaters, and cultural events. The Philadelphia Art Alliance and the Academy of Music are just a stone's throw away, making it a paradise here for cultural enthusiasts. Catch a show or immerse yourself in a Philadelphia orchestra at the Kimmel Center nearby. Rittenhouse really does have a lot to offer its residents. Lots of excitement, lots of shows, lots of nightlife, and so much more. Speaking of excitement, that is really the main reason people want to live here in this neighborhood. There are a number of nice and affluent areas in the city, but what sets Rittenhouse apart is that excitement, that hustle, that bustle in the area, and really you're in the center of it all. And if you've got kids, there are stellar public schools here and private schools. The public school is Greenfield right here in Rittenhouse, and my daughter actually used to attend that school, great experience for us. And there are many nuances to school, so if you have any questions, just reach out. Many of the students actually leave Greenfield after elementary, although it's an elementary and middle school. Many leave after elementary and tend to Masterman, which is one of the top ranked schools in the area, according to multiple sources like niche.com, Great Schools, and a lot of other sources. Check them out. There are also a number of top private schools in the area, like the Philadelphia School, which is extremely popular among residents of the area. So, public or private, Rittenhouse has a lot to offer for families. And a quick aside for families, you'll definitely want to consider Rittenhouse Square, as many sources rank Rittenhouse Square the #1 place to be in all of Center City for families. If you've got a family, send me a quick email to chris@meetchris.com. Just pause the video real quick, send me an email, and I'll send you some information about Rittenhouse Square. Now, in case it hasn't been obvious thus far, convenience of this area is why most people are choosing to call Rittenhouse home. Convenience to restaurants, shopping, the culture here, good schools, you name it, you got it. And you also have a lot of convenient access to fitness, health, and lifestyle options for your longevity in Rittenhouse. The 7-acre Rittenhouse Square itself is a picturesque park surrounded by luxury living. It's really a serene oasis here where residents and visitors can unwind, take leisurely strolls, or simply enjoy a relaxing afternoon under the shade of some of the trees here. In a busy city, having these open and these green spaces are really critical to our mental and physical health. You also aren't very far from the Schuylkill River Park and all that that area has to offer. There's a kids playground there, it's a large and small dog park, it's a massive Schuylkill River Trail which starts here and goes for miles and miles and miles along the river. We've got the Schuylkill Banks, the Schuylkill Boardwalk. It's really hard to describe how awesome this amenity is, especially if you love fitness, you love the outdoors, you love getting some sun. Without seeing it in person, again, it's just really hard to describe. Hopefully what I'm showing you now is somewhat helpful, but you really got to check it out. You got to see it in person. You can play basketball here, you can play tennis here, you can play the ever-growing sport of pickleball. Really, it goes on and on. There are also numerous other fitness options, from Pilates to yoga to Orange Theory to lifting weights at a nearby fitness center. We've really got it all in Rittenhouse. There's also several fitness and social members only clubs that I can recommend to you, and we'll be putting out videos in the future, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet to my channel. But if you have any questions about any of that stuff, just reach out, send me a quick email. All right, now let's talk about transportation and walkability of the area. Again, one of the main reasons people love this area is the convenience, and that also includes the convenience of walking. Really, in Rittenhouse, you can walk to everything, whether it's your job, a local cafe, coffee shop, restaurant, bar, fine dining, outdoor recreation, as we've been talking about, museums in the area, shopping in Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse really does have it all. Now, although you can walk to pretty much everything in this area, some residents do have cars. But if you're working in the city, you're probably rarely going to use the car. You might take a weekend or trip here or there. And honestly, using something like Zipcar, where you can rent a car for the weekend, or just a regular rental car company like Enterprise, you may be better served not having a vehicle. Of course, it depends on your particular situation. When I'm not driving clients around to see homes, my wife and I are either walking around or we're taking Uber to go to wherever we need. So really, if you're in this area, anywhere around Rittenhouse, you don't necessarily need a car. But if you really do want a car, you can purchase a condo or a townhome in the area that does come with parking in the building or in a garage if it's a townhome. Of course, that's going to come at a cost, either in a more expensive price for the home or potentially in more expensive maintenance fees or condo fees to maintain the upkeep of the garage and whatnot. There is street parking here, However, street parking is really not for the faint of heart. It's very cheap, but it's very tricky to get. You have to really time it well. It's not easy to park. If you don't like parallel parking, do not do street parking. Also noteworthy is that some of the luxury condo buildings here, in Rittenhouse in particular, do offer a private chauffeur service. So if you don't want a car, but you want someone to be able to drive around, that is an option in some of the higher end condos here. Obviously, it's going to increase the condo fees, but it's a really nice option for some of the buildings here. And for those who want to take advantage of public transit, Philly's public transit system is also very convenient to walk to from many areas of Rittenhouse. You've got 30th Street Station, which is the really big train station that Amtrak comes in and out of, and the regional rail in the area. You've got Suburban Station here, and you've got 15th Street at City Hall for the subway, which can get you pretty much anywhere in the city. And there are, of course, buses that go up and down many of the streets in Rittenhouse. Really, it's hard to beat the amenities of this particular area. And if you enjoy being part of a community, this neighborhood hosts a variety of events throughout the year, mainly on the square, which really foster a sense here of belonging amongst the residents. Anything from farmers markets to outdoor concerts, dancing on the square. They have galas on the square, periodic pop-ups here of art and craft display galleries where people are actually displaying but selling their art, so you can purchase it here. Cultural festivities. Really, there's so much happening here, either on a square or somewhere nearby. This area is great for college students and has its fair share of grad students in the area. This area is great for young professionals just getting started or have been a young professional for a little bit. This area is great for families. It's great for empty nesters. Really, Rittenhouse is for everyone. As long as you want what we've been talking about, as long as you want what it offers, all that buzz, all the excitement, all the nightlife, all the activities. And real quick, as much as we love making these videos, we love helping people relocate to the Center City Philly area even more. So if you're remotely considering moving here in the next few months or the next few years, it's never too early to start reaching out and getting actionable information. So go ahead and send me an email so I can keep you up to date on what's going on here in Center City Philly. All my contact info is below. All right, now that you see the many benefits of the area, you may be asking yourself, how safe is the area? How safe is Rittenhouse? It's a great question, and we'll get to that in a minute, but let's first talk about what your housing options are here. Rittenhouse has a great diversification of streets and homes in the area. You can be right on the square in a high-rise condo overlooking the square, or you can be living in a very narrow, tiny Trinity home, or you can have a large townhome or reside in a smaller condo building that used to be a large townhome. Really, you've got your pick of the litter here. The convenience of urban tranquility is really meeting this residential vibe, this residential retreat that a lot of people are looking for. And for many, it's really the perfect blend of the city vibrancy and residential comfort. You've got historic brownstones here and other townhomes. You've got low-rise condos, mid-rise condos, and finally, of course, you have high-rise condos. Now, the majority of the townhomes here are going to be older, but possibly recently renovated, and oftentimes are historic. And with condos, you'll find a diversity of older buildings. Some of those units in the building will, of course, be outdated, and others will have been more recently renovated and be very modern. Now, to give you an idea of pricing, the median townhome price in 2023 for townhomes was around $900,000, and the median condo price in 2023 was around $480,000 in 2023. So what should your budget look like? Well, for a decent one bed, you're gonna be looking somewhere around $250 to $500K and going up from there. For a decent two bed, you'll probably want a budget of somewhere around $300, but really starting in the $400s, going up to the $800s, and easily into the millions for a very nice, very new luxury condo here. And for a 3-bed plus townhome, you'll want a healthy budget, really north of $700,000, easily, of course, going into the millions. All right, let's talk about crime and safety. Now, while no part of a major city is necessarily 100% safe, and really nor are the suburbs for that matter, even in gated communities, a ton of crime typically happens. Many of the residents of Philly do feel safe here in Rittenhouse Square. Really, it's one of the safest parts of the city in most people's assessment, and based on looking at crime data as well. The Brookings Institution, a nonprofit and nonpartisan organization, recently published a very interesting and insightful report in April of 2023. They were analyzing perceptions of people in the city versus reality. And they looked at 4 major cities, and one of them was, of course, Philadelphia. Their report stated, hyper-local crime data reveals a significant mismatch between residents' perceived understandings of where crime occurs in a city versus its actual spatial distribution. That could probably have been said a little bit clearer, but basically where people think crime happens is often not where it happens. And also be very careful of what you see on the news or hear from one person before you make a judgment solely based on that. Oftentimes the news blows things out of proportion. So essentially, there's a general perception that Philly is unsafe, is an unsafe city, but the reality is it's actually not widespread. Crime, that is not widespread throughout the city. Really, the reality is that many people feel safe here in Center City, and the report goes on to say that the downtown areas of major cities tend to be the safest areas of the city. And Philly's downtown is what's called Center City, and Rittenhouse is in the heart of Center City, Philadelphia. And if you want to learn more about safety in Philly, I actually made an entire video about it, and I'll link that in the description below so you can check it out later. And if you found this video helpful thus far, it would mean the world to me as well if you wouldn't mind going down and clicking that like button so that YouTube knows I'm putting out some helpful content here. And if you're curious about some condo options in Rittenhouse, check out this video right here. Just click on the image, check it out, and enjoy.